All right, I'm cleaning up this property. Started with the front sidewalk, this sidewalk, and then the driveway. But there's something major, something massive that you haven't seen, and nobody else has for many years. All right, check this out. This was the old driveway to the house. You can tell it went down and around and through those trees. That driveway was added on. But this one, I did some probing, okay? I used my power washer and I just kind of made some holes in here to see. And you know what? Man, that's like at least 6 inches deep. And there's a driveway underneath it. You know, there's some big semis. And apparently, I didn't know this little town has, this is the highway. Anyway, moving forward. The sidewalk, that driveway goes between these trees and all the way to the road. It hasn't seen the light of day in many years. Probably a good, I don't know, I would say 40, 50, maybe even 60 or 70 years. I've uncovered a lot of stuff on this property. You'll have to check out the second video with the driveway and the first video with the front staircase. It was absolutely crazy, but you're not going to want to miss this one. This has got to be one of the craziest ones I've ever done. Now, I can't really use a shovel in here, so I'm going to have to use my power washer. Probably a little bit of power washer and the shovel. Now, here's why. When I'm cleaning the driveway, I didn't really know about this until later, but this is just completely covered in mud and leaves and all that stuff, rocks, debris, and it's been here so long just like this that there's actually vines all the way through it. So these are honeysuckle vine that is just growing like crazy in here, which doesn't seem like much, and it makes it a real pain to shovel. So use the power washer, make a mess, and kick it over into these flower beds, or what once was flower beds, and you can tell because there's some bulbs and different stuff there. And look, these are cool. I don't know what the actual term for this is, but my grandmother always called it lives forever. Okay, and basically you can pull this up or break it off. Say just like that. Whoop. You break it off, right, and pull those lower leaves off. It doesn't really matter though, but you can stick this in the ground, right, just like this. Make a little hole, stick it in the ground, and a new plant will grow right there off of that one. It's because it's a succulent. All right, all that said, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. I'm just gonna have at it. I don't really have a plan of action other than just go to town. So I mean, basically the main idea is all the leaves and debris and stuff like that, push them over there. So maybe the first thing I should do is hit it with a blower, get the stuff on top, and then go at it with the power washer to get the stuff underneath. I don't really know. Let's see what I come up with, man. All right, let's try to do this without getting any in the neighbor's yard. Right out of the gate, I want to thank you for taking the time to support our channel. We go around and we service properties completely free for people. It's gotten to the point where last year I was like, hey, I want to do this and go full time with it. And now we're actually getting ready and planning a trip to travel the US and cut lawns for free for people. So I mean, it's just an unreal thing how far it's come so fast. And like on the last video, I had some D-bag, he's like, oh, I can't believe you're still scamming people. The awesome thing about this is I've never once taken a donation, or I've had people send me some money in an envelope. You don't have to do that. And if you do, just know that I'm giving it away. Like, it's gonna happen. I'm compensated through YouTube, and it's pretty awesome. I feel like a modern day Robin Hood. Like, literally, I just make videos, and these big corporations put their ads on my video, and then Google sends me a check. It's been pretty awesome. Pretty damn cool in my opinion. Now, having said that, if you like that and you want to support that and you want to support me encouraging people in other industries to do videos like mine where they're going out and they're helping people and it's kind of changing and remolding the way that we think of how we can do business and service, like where I would have gone out and on a project like this charged at least $2,000, and for like the whole property, we're probably looking at like $4,000 for the whole property, which you'll there's 4 videos to this series, okay? And I wasn't even able to finish all the concrete on the property. So my point is, it was a lot of work. But every time I talk about numbers, people are like, there's no way you could charge that. Well, you know, I did charge for my work for 10 years, and I know exactly what I can charge. It's not hard to be the guy that goes out and you charge what you're worth and what it costs to do the service. And getting into that, let's go ahead and dive into that. But before I go into a deep dive on that, I want to let you know that if you do want to watch these videos with absolutely no talking, I do provide that for all of my viewers that would like a boring experience over at the Boring Channel. It's a real channel. It's not just a joke. Like, I know I joke a lot, but that's a real channel, the Boring Channel. It actually outgrew this channel for a bit. You sick freaks. Oh, I love it. But, you know, anyways, all that said, we'll go ahead and dive back into this. As a lawn care guy and a business owner and somebody that's been doing this for a long time, and of course this is power washing. This wasn't really my expertise in business. It was something that I learned and progressed more as I started making videos, and really for the enjoyment and wanting to learn new things. Like, I've been testing the water on doing different projects, and it's really cool because now I have the capability to, when before with a service, and you might have experienced this if you've started a business yourself or you've seen other people start a business, they'll want to go out and do everything. They're like, I'm a lawn business. And you're like, cool, what's your niche? They're like, I cut grass, which is how I thought in the beginning. I'm like, yeah, that's basically what I do. But in my head, I was like, I don't care. Big or small, I'll do it. I only got a push mower, but I'll go cut that acreage. It doesn't work that way. Niche down. Be very, very specific about the type of client that you service, how often you service them, how you're going to get paid, as in how you do your billing, because people love consistency. Just be super consistent. And then with the pricing, you'll know exactly what to price because you're doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and replicating it. And why I say really niche down on like 1 or 2 services is because if you try to provide service for a whole bunch of different things, you need a lot more tools. You're also not getting very, very skilled at what you're doing, so you can't ever get really efficient, and it's just not going to work out good for your business. So really hone down, focus on like 3 services, and just run with it. Now, as far as what I'm doing on this specific project, I went ahead. I know there's going to be a lot of people, why didn't you use a shovel? You're an idiot for not using a shovel. I just want to start out and say I went right out the gate trying to use the shovel. I tried using the blower. A lot of roots, and the blower wasn't working. So we busted out the shovel. It's actually... Get that out of the way. It's actually a golden shovel. It's my daddy's. All his equipment is gold. But no, seriously. As far as the shovel goes, we're trying to get under there. A lot of roots. I'm trying to cut through it. It's not working that well. It's also really, really heavy because I cleaned the concrete on the rest of it, so all the water washed down. I had no idea that there was more concrete down here. I thought that it ended like maybe 6 inches to a foot into that. Like, I did not think there was going to be another driveway here. Alright. I don't think I can pick that up. But you better believe that I'm going to try it. So at this point, I'm doing a little observation. I noticed there's fire ants, or could be regular ants, but I'm in an area where there's a lot of fire ants, so I'm pretty cautious about it. You know, people ask you about animals all the time, snakes, this and that. I'm not too worried about the snakes. You know, especially like if I'm cutting tall grass, that's when everybody asks about snakes. You worried about snakes and spiders? Not really. You'll see like thousands of spiders when cutting tall overgrown grass. Snakes, they're there, but normally I think the equipment kind of scares them away. But having said that, I'm sure that, I mean, I've seen some regular snakes, so I'm sure that some are
waiting for me. In a spot like this, who knows what you're gonna find under there.
It's like catching a big fish. Look at it. It's a monster. I can't even pick it up. Let's see if we can get it. Beat that thumbnail. Hard enough playing around. Let's knock it out like a pro. I want to make this reappear. It's like a magic trick. I promise you, you've never seen a power washing transformation like this. I said when it's done, it'll be on YouTube under the boring channel.
Under the boring channel?
Yeah, I got another channel too, but that's the easiest one to find.
I used to do pressure washing. We pressure washed for Brookshires and Super Ones. Yeah. Here in Texas and Louisiana. It's pretty good. It was like $200 a night. Yeah. They paid for the gas.
That ain't bad.
Pretty laid back.
Yeah, there's a driveway under here, man.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was telling him. I said, there's concrete under that. I said, it's just a bunch of dirt been piling up for years.
That's going to make a crazy video.
Man, before and after, and the little clips or slideshow after. I'll check you out, man.
Alright.
You ever need any help? I mean, I'll check you out and hit you up on Facebook.
Absolutely, man. Sounds great. I think it's a shower knob. Set that there.
So the first thing I would say is that if you feel insecure and less and ashamed and all of that, that you have to take stock. And look, I have an exercise online at selfauthoring.com. There's 3 exercises there. One helps you write about the past, one about the present, and one about the future. The present authoring program helps you assess your faults and your virtues. Okay, well, if you have some faults and you feel insecure and inferior because of that, well, you should. Now, it shouldn't be so much that you're crippled by it and unable to take action. You shouldn't be beating yourself into the ground because you're not everything you could be, because no one is. And if you beat yourself into the ground, then you can't get up and improve. But you have to differentiate. It's like, okay, to what degree am I being hard on myself? Counterproductively critical, hearing the voice of my too harsh and angry father in my head,
Right.
Adopting inappropriate stereotypical representations of masculine competence. How much of my self-criticism is ill-advised? Fair enough. And you want to deal with yourself with a certain amount of care. But then along with that, there's the, well, fix your weaknesses. You know, if you're ashamed of being ignorant, you're showing up at a party because, you know, you claim to knowledge that you don't have and someone exposes you. Well, you can be angry at them, and you probably will, but they've actually done you a favor. They pointed out an inadequacy is a pathway that you can travel down, right? A recognized inadequacy is, as soon it's such a gift in some sense, if it's accurate. I'm in it, because you think, well, what should I do? What should I do with my life? That's a real complicated question. Oh, here's an inadequacy. Excellent, you have a goal now, rectify it. Now, you still have to think strategically and figure out how to rectify it and do it step by step. But Carl Rogers, the psychotherapist, pointed out that the person, for therapy to be successful, the person has to want to change. So they have to have recognized that they have a problem. If someone is mandated by the court to attend therapy, it's very difficult for the therapist to convince them that they have a problem. Once you're convinced you have a problem, it's like, away you go. You know, I know it's still technically difficult. It requires discipline and all of that. There's no magic solution. But if you're plagued by feelings of inferiority, you should rectify the most obvious inferiorities.
Right. Focus on those first over optimizing strengths, would you say?
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. And you don't have to redress like I'm a terrible jazz musician. You know,
it's not a thing where you hold shame around or like.
Well, it's not an impediment.
Yeah.
I would say that you have to rectify an inadequacy when it's clearly an impediment to your goal, or you have to shift goals. But if you're shifting goals because of an inadequacy related impediment, then you have to ask yourself, is your desire to shift the goal reliable, or are you just taking the easy way out? Right. You can protect yourself by picking a different goal that's more difficult. That's a good mental hygiene practice, because sometimes you should switch goals rather than rectifying inadequacies. But you can fool yourself then, and that's not good.
And if someone is goalless, lazy, unmotivated, not sure what they want to do, what would be a few key steps to get started to turn their life around, or to find the motivation for something greater than where they're at?
Well, I think a fair bit of that's probably to be found in, you can find it in shame, you can find it in guilt, you can find it in conscience, you can find it in anger, you can find it in interest and engagement and beauty. There's lots of pathways. If you're angry about something in the world, well, you know, that's an indication that that's in some sense your problem, right? It's speaking to you in a moral sense. This shouldn't be that way. Well, maybe you're the person who should do something about it in some manner. Maybe it'll take your whole life to figure out how to do that. But it's bothering you for a reason. So the negative emotions can be a pathway to transformation. I'm not trying to romanticize them. They can crush you completely and leave you with nothing, right? For sure. And they can go badly astray. But shame, that's a good one. What am I ashamed of? Well, can you fix any of that? Because you might ask yourself, let's say you're so ashamed and so crushed that you're nihilistic and you can't see any hope for life. You're just done. You might think, well, what if I was less ashamed? Like, I'm not going to jump off the bridge today. I'm going to wait a year. I'm going to work on these things that I'm ashamed of, and just see, like, does my life improve enough so that I'm not so bitter about it now, or I'm not so hopeless about it now? And my experience has generally been that works. It works. And then some of it's practical knowledge too. It's like you can get a really long way with very small changes, incremental changes.
Yeah.
Micro habit changes. So aim low.
Don't have big goals or big transformations.
Well, you can, but the problem with a big goal is that it's daunting enough so that it might paralyze you, and there's a high probability of failure. And so imagine that you're your own child. Okay, now imagine you love this child and you would like him, we'll say him because it's you and I talking, to succeed. Now, you have an ideal for this child. You would like him to grow up to be the best he can be, better than you, the best man he can be. That's what you want for your son, if the good part of you is talking.
Yeah.
You definitely want him to be better than you are, but you want him to be the best he could be, if your vision is unclouded. Okay, but then you offer him a goal. It's like, well, do this. Well, can he do it? Well, if he can do it without a second's thought, there's no challenge in it. There's no developmental impetus. It's not in the zone of proximal development. You want a goal that you can do, but that requires some improvement on your part. Because you want to attain the goal, that's satisfying, but then you want to make yourself into the thing that can attain goals. And so you want to push yourself.
Yeah.
You want to push yourself a bit far.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's an ample psychological literature that suggests that that's where maximal motivation is to be found.
Interesting.
So you're pursuing a goal, but you're also pursuing the goal of transforming yourself at the same time. You're doing both of those at the same time.
Do you need to know that you're transforming yourself in order to attain the goal? Or do most people just think, I got to take these steps to make it happen, but they don't realize they're becoming better human beings?
It depends on what you mean by realize. They have the sense of satisfaction and confidence that would indicate that, although they might not be able to make what that means explicit. But I would say it would be better to make it explicit. It adds one other dimension of possible motivation.
What would you say would be your 3 truths?
I would say have the faith, strive to manifest the faith necessary to make things better rather than worse. Pray that you have enough terror to be frightened out of your own deceit. And strive to be grateful regardless. That would be that's good enough.
Any Miller Lite drinkers know how old that can might be? I bet you it's from the 90s. All right, there's our orange crush. It's getting there.
I'm surprised to see it, but you were right.
Yeah, I'll get all the roots cleaned up when I'm done. This here is gonna be a big mess when I get to that. I'll probably have to let that dry out overnight and then come back with trash cans.
Looks great.
Thanks, man. Hey man, if you haven't, if you just take a quick second to give us a thumbs up, it could really go a long ways to helping us out. I appreciate the help. I'll go ahead and wait for that. Let's get to it.
Oh, was that a rug?
That's the years of buildup that's on there.
Damn. Hey, this looks excellent.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know that I've ever done one quite this bad.
Sorry, man. Sorry.
Nah, it's cool. I'm gonna be back for the rest too, but it'll be a couple months.
Okay.
I'm gonna knock this out today.
All right.
You will fail your way to greatness. Most people allow their fear of failure to outweigh their desire to succeed. When you're willing to fail again and again and again, when you make up your mind to become unstoppable, when you make up your mind to become a no matter what person, then that will then give birth to a part of yourself that you don't know right now.
Imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghost of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those talents. You never used those gifts. And there they are standing around your bed looking at you with large angry eyes saying, "We came to you. And only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever." See, most people stop short of their dreams and park and get off the highway of life because of the rejections of life. You will always be rejected. It's no big deal. Jack Canfield said rejection is a myth. It's not like when somebody says no and then they slap you. No, it's just, to me, make no your vitamin. Get excited about the no. Why? Because every time someone says no, that brings you another step to a yes. You're getting closer. Trust me, you will win if you don't quit. You will win if you don't quit. Even a broke clock is right twice a day. As you go through the challenges of life and you look at it and embrace whatever comes to you, don't run from it. Step toward it. Don't try and duck it like most people do. See, most people want it easy. See, easy come, easy what? Easy go. See, but when you go at what you're going to deal with and you deal with the difficulties of it, when you handle those hard things close at hand, making those hard decisions right now that you don't want to make, learning those things that you don't like to do, but you know that in order for you to get where you want to go, this is one of the hoops that you have to flip through. And I'm saying to you, whatever you got to do, do it, because if you don't, life is going to whoop you until you surrender. You have something that you brought to the universe, and that if you decide that my life deserves my developing this what I do well, and becoming the best at it, and mastering myself, and seeing what I have within me, if you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you. I grant you that if you begin to work to develop your gifts, you'll develop a strong sense of happiness. You'll get a larger vision of yourself, because part of beginning to get a larger vision of yourself, all of us need some area of our lives where we can have a feeling of competence. That people know when they think about this area, that's something you do. that you eat and sleep that, and that you do that, you do that.
Changing is not easy. That changing your life, changing habits, reinventing yourself, picking yourself up after life has knocked you flat on your back. I've got to say, when life knocked you down, try and land on your back, because if you could look up, you could get up. Well, that sounds cute, but that's not easy. When I was diagnosed with prostate cancer 17 years ago, that first time that happened, I said, hey, I can handle this. Then when it came back a year later, last year, 17 years later, and this time it metastasized to 7 areas of my body and ate 40% of my T1 vertebrae. Now the stakes are higher. It's this life saying, okay, Mr. Motivator, you beat cancer the first time. What you gonna do now? I started laughing. When the doctor told me, he said, why are you laughing? Are you in denial? I said, no. I said, I feel like Mother Teresa. He said, what do you mean? She said, Lord, I know you know how much I can bear. I just wish you to have so much confidence in me. I said, the stakes are higher. So I've got to dig in and got to fight more, because at the end of the day, life is a fight for territory. And once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. And so it's a fight, it's a challenge in life every day. And what we have to do is embrace it. What we have to do is see it as a project to be worked on. In life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. And so I see even cancer as a gift, as a God-ordained opportunity.
If you died today, what dreams, what ideas, what talents, what books, what music, what leadership, what voice will die with you?
There are a lot of people who are biting their fingers in fear that they might lose their jobs. But there are few people who have decided within themselves, I'm going to make it. Some people aren't waiting to be cut. Some people are moving on their own because they feel within themselves, I've got what it takes to make it. They're not afraid about tomorrow because of how they see themselves, because of what they feel that they deserve, because of what they feel that they can create for themselves. Because these people have decided, as they look at the future, as they look at themselves, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way for me to begin to create a way out of no way. And when you have that kind of consciousness, when you have that kind of spirit, nothing can stop you. Nothing.
There's no secret to success. There's a system to success. And no matter what organization you become a part of, the system works if you work it. If you don't work it, it won't work. But it works if you work it. And that's one 4-letter word that most people don't like. They're not willing to work.
There are winners, and there are losers, and there are people who have not discovered how to win. And all they need is some coaching. All they need is some help and assistance, just a little support. All they need is some insight or a different strategy, a plan of action to make some adjustments that will open up the key to a whole new future for them, that will give them access to the unlimited power that they have within themselves. That's all that they need. So what I want you to do is think about something you want for you, that's real for you, that's important for you, that will give your life some special meaning and power. And I don't even want you to say, I can do that. I don't want you to assume that. See, 5 years ago when I started out in this area, I would not have been able to make the mental leap that I would be up to where I am right now. I don't want you to begin to just psych yourself out. No. I want you to be able to say something to yourself that will enable you to maintain a level of integrity with yourself, That when you say this, even when you face tremendous setbacks, it will be a benchmark to keep you in the game, to keep you moving forward and experimenting and readjusting your strategy and your plan of action, continuously looking for ways to win.
I think we have to reflect on who am I? Why am I here? What drives me? If I died today, what 3 words would I want said about me if I died today? You know, what is it that defines me? You know, and how do I define myself?
So I went to the next mode necessary to start talking to people and seeking and asking for what I wanted and leveraging relationships and trying to find out how do the people do it that went ahead of me? How do they do it? And then what is it I need to do? How is it I need to train myself, to develop myself? What's the resources that will be required in order to make it happen? And as I start seeking out and asking questions, I started running into people who said, I know someone who can help you do that. And they helped me get connected with those people. Remember, we have so much energy that can take us so far. It's necessary that you hook up with some other energy that can take you to the next level. I hooked up with them. They said, let's go. I said, away we go.
I found a coin, but there's nothing. I think it's a nickel. I'll have to take it home and see if I can. Alright, that was Arkansas Dot letting me know about the mud runoff down the street. I let him know that we're actually shoveling it into this yard, which he said is perfectly okay. I told Dad we can't be shooting that down into the drain just because it's gonna clog up the drain. Anyways, we'll be shoveling it back in this yard. But this is crazy. He said that this section was abandoned in the mid-90s and they actually put in the other driveway over there. So it's been since the mid-90s. He said basically since these two big oak trees grew up. You know, I don't know if somebody planted these here, but they've just completely overgrown this. Pretty wild, isn't it? Look at all these roots. Quite a few of them. I had a couple piles this size for hauling away. One more there, one there, one in the back of the truck already. And yeah, from there I just got some shoveling there, and then we're finally able to hit it with the surface cleaner and get this section cleaned up. And man, and am I ready, because I am tired, worn out, just ready to go home and take a shower. Super dirty. This is probably one of the coolest ones I've ever done.
Driveway, and I finally found them leaving the park on Sunset, and they're gonna do my house. So stay tuned. We're gonna put their work on the channels and get them some good business, because I really need them, and I really admire their work. They are very much good.
So when she came up, she asked me how much it was. I told her free.
He said free, ain't no but God. So yes, subscribe them, follow them, and stay tuned, because they do the driveways, but they're gonna do my house. So,
she said there's a beehive in there too.
I have some beehives.
That might be exciting.
Wasps, all type of.
In the house?
No, it's on the outside of the house. But they're not in there yet. Like they really trying to get settled in because of the weather.
Yeah.
You know, back to weather. But like I said, I'm trying to knock all them down. Because we're trying to make my house a home. Been there about a month now, so.
We'll come take care of it.
All right, thank y'all.
Well, that's cool. We got people around town looking for us. Word is spreading. That means Dad's gonna be a busy bee this year. You excited about that?
Yeah, I am. That's really cool to help people out in town. It's really neat. A lot of good people here in town.
I'm tore up from this one, man. But all we have left is some surface cleaning. Some surface cleaning and some rinsing off and cleaning up big piles of roots. So Dad?
Did you tell them the DOT stopped by and said we needed to clean up the street a little bit?
It was a mess. I told Dad we can't be shooting that down the block. My plan was to get it far enough past the driveway that we can just kick it back into this yard. It looks nasty now. I mean, like, let's look at it. It looks really nasty, but keep in mind, it's actually really good soil. So everything that's growing underneath it, it's gonna pop right back up. The grass, the vines, all that stuff, it's just gonna come right back. It looks dirty now, but after rain, it'll settle down. Calm down, it's all good, man. What do you think, Dad?
I think I got the golden shovel.
I love cold.
All right.
So you got to remember, it rains a lot here in town. So in a couple of weeks, you'll never even know you was here. I mean, all the dirt will rinse away. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was a lot of dirt. I never knew this was here. I've lived here 10 years and never even imagined.
I showed up to this job because of the stairs, and I was like, oh, those are dirty. I want to clean that up. And then that turned into the stairs, and then there's like 6 foot of sidewalk that I'd never seen. And then I was looking at this, and I'm like, okay, so there's a driveway there going towards the house, but I could tell this was new, and that was added on in the back. And I was like, oh, this has gotta come down. And then once I got to kind of probe it a little bit with the turbo tip, that's what it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this over there.
You gonna put that over there? He's gonna put it over there. Don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on me. It's Daddy doing it.
I'll come back here.
Don't be lying.
I'll come back, promise.
That's gonna break down and make some really good soil. I'm saying that's where it stays.
Yeah, okay. I like your idea.
It'll break down. Calm down. Everything turns into dirt.
There's some good dirt right here too.
Yeah. That's the kind of stuff people dream about for their garden. All right, this job's finally done. As you can see, we've got the stairway. It's looking beautiful. Let's work our way all the way through the property because we did a lot. We came through here. You can't really do much, but these stairs look awesome. This walkway was completely covered. Hadn't seen in years right there, I'm sure. Trimmed the bushes back. Kept the red bud. See, it's looking beautiful, especially against my dirty hands. Coming in here, trim the azaleas over here. This looks good. Those aren't mist spots. It's just still drying. I'll come in and take some after shots tomorrow for you guys. Woo! This sidewalk polished up very beautifully. I know I'm a sexy beast, right? All right, it's coming over here. This was the original driveway to the house, and I did leave my mark. I got a pair of, well, boot prints. Yeah, buddy. I always know I was there. Don't get mad at me for leaving it, but I'm leaving it. At least until I come back for this. But that's gonna be a while, because this is the last job I'm doing here in town. I won't be back for a while. Well, at least till the second half of the year. I'm busy. So, that spot that was covered up, wasn't that the crazy? Well, let's just go back to the driveway. We'll get to that in a minute. Okay, the driveway cleaned up beautiful. It's gonna look like that when it's dry, but this is wet because we were cleaning that. The retaining wall looks awesome. The driveway, I ended up finding about, I don't know, another 6-foot section of retaining or concrete here, because it's got the apron, and I almost thought for a minute that that was going to go all the way back. I was a little scared, but check this out. This is the piece de la resistance, right? The beautiful thing, the magnum opus of this job. Did you even know this was here? I know you didn't, because I didn't. I was working over there, found the little concrete over there, found this concrete, I found this, and boy was I in for some work. Well, what a beautiful treat. Nobody's walked on this driveway. This concrete, nobody's walked on this probably since I was born, probably the last 30 years. How cool was that? I was the one that cleaned it up, baby. I left my mark on this town. This tree here and this tree here is probably why this was not used anymore. It just overgrew the driveway. Pretty cool. Isn't it crazy how it does that? It just grows out, grows out. But it's beautiful. I think it's pretty cool. That driveway, I mean, I don't know if I'd drive through it, but how cool is that? With the trees there, and we got this. I just added value to this property, for sure. Nobody even knew this was here. But I'm not done. I'm telling you guys. You gotta tell me. You tell me, I'll come back for this, which that is a nightmare. I can tell you, that's 6 foot, and I'm gonna have to cut all of this shrubs back and stuff to get to it. Another 6 foot of just roots and mud and crazy nonsense that'll have to be cut out and dug out and just, whew. And then all that. I might rent a mini skid for that next time. Just push it right off. Right? Push it right out into the yard, level it out, call it good. It's probably what I should have done over here. Just come in, scrape it off. That's what a real landscaper would do. You're not a real landscaper. Shut up. So once again, this is how it works. I go around, I knock on doors, and I say, hey, I'm in the area. I'd love to clean something up on your property. I'll do it completely free. Now, the way I'm able to do that is through the support of the viewers on my channel. I'm not asking for donations, but here's how you can support me. By leaving me a thumbs up, leaving a comment, and subscribing to the channel. It goes a very, very, very long ways to pushing us out to more people, which allows us to get more views, which allows us to have the monetary support that keeps us going and out there and being able to help people, okay? All right, so this job was crazy. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one.